2023 boat recently in the 3-seat. David Copley, he's a British product, well known for erging that 100K piece earlier this year. 4-seat, we have Tim Livingston, he's a senior. Let's see, 5-seat, Will Chance. 6-seat, Tom George. 7, Chris Lowry. And in the 8, we have Augustine Lambersy. Looks like in the coxswain seat, we've also got Matt Wiley. So the crews are getting set. We have any hands up left? Looks like all hands are down. Some slight adjustments on the line in the last second. We have 2 Empokers in the middle lane, a Hudson closest to the camera, and then a Resolute in the far lane. That's Georgetown. Starters going through the commands.
We're just making a few final adjustments. The Drexel boat is sliding out by about a half seat, and we should be ready to run pretty soon.
First race of the season, you can always expect a few more adjustments as the starters, liners, and crews all get ready for going on the blocks for the first time. More adjustments.
The crews are aligned.
Here we go.
The crews are being pulled, and we will start in just a second. And the crews are off.
Really fast first 5 strokes. It looks like Princeton is out by about a seat immediately off the line. We're going to see who's going. Let's get off on the race. Princeton definitely moving out. Looks like we've got Princeton, Georgetown, Drexel, and then GW in the first 20 strokes of the race.
Princeton seems to be pushing out to an early lead, but Drexel, Georgetown, and GW are all fighting and are just a few seats back.
Yeah, and that stroke, Augustine Lambersy laying down a big rhythm for the Tigers. They are moving out on the field. It looks like they might have already taken 6 seats.
The Tigers seem to be stroking pretty low, about a 34, a 35, and they're keeping it very long and strong. GW in the lane closest to us seems to have a very long and strong rhythm as well.
Looks like right now we've got Princeton out, then Georgetown, GW, and Drexel. Drexel has fallen off the pace a little bit. We'll see if they can pick it up as we near the first 500 meters.
Georgetown is keeping it really crisp in lane 1, and they seem to be quite calm. Let's see what they can bring in the second 500 of this race.
Yeah, this looks like, so Princeton's about to cross the first 500 meters. They look like they almost have a length on the field. Georgetown in second, GW third, and Drexel in fourth. The margins between Drexel and GW haven't really changed. It seems like GW is about a half a length back on Georgetown. Princeton maintaining their lead over the field right now with a full length advantage over Georgetown. We're coming up on the 750 meter mark. It looks like Drexel is fading back a little bit, but there's still a real competition here between GW and Georgetown, with Georgetown having the advantage at the moment.
All crews seem to be about at the same stroke rating, with Drexel slightly lower, maybe at a 33, 34, and the others are at about a 35.
And crossing the 750 meter mark, Princeton has very firmly taken command of this race. They are out by open water. It looks like the margins have maintained roughly the same between the last few crews. Drexel might be fading back a little bit, but it is Princeton, Georgetown, GW, and then Drexel.
The race for second place is staying quite close with, it looks like Georgetown's up by about a seat or 2 on GW, but GW seems to be moving, and GW also seems to be holding Princeton with only maybe a hair of open water there.
That's correction. That's Georgetown with a little open water behind Princeton. We've crossed the 1,000 meter mark. Princeton is very firmly in command of this race. They are long, they are strong, and it looks like the stern pair of that boat is laying down some pretty serious watts right now.
Yeah, Princeton in this, after going through the 1,000, Princeton's opened up another about half length of open, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like Princeton's actually taken the rating up a little bit. They are definitely slightly overstroking GW and Georgetown. The race between those guys looks like it's getting more competitive. The field is expanding, so it's tough to get a margin call on Georgetown and GW, but they are fighting it out for second place. Drexel is maintaining the best they can. They're coming up onto the 1250. That's 750 meters to go. Princeton has just crossed the 1250 mark. Georgetown and GW as well. And it is a race for second place right now between GW and Georgetown. They are really going after it.
We want to give a shout out to Drexel. They're while they're falling behind a little bit, their catches look really clean, and they're keeping the rowing nice. So where Princeton is approaching the last 500 of the race, and they are followed closely by GW and Georgetown, who are really battling it out. It seems like Georgetown probably has 3 or 4 seats over GW, and this will be huge for Georgetown, because I know this is a great chance for them to go up against some teams that are ranked in the top 20.
Yeah, really great proving grounds here. The Tigers have crossed the 500-meter mark. They're going to be starting their sprint fairly soon. We've got a bit of a headwind coming up here in the last 500 meters. You can really notice that on the catches in these 4 boats. GW and Georgetown are really fighting it out here. This is going to be a very interesting last 300 meters of the race. But Princeton firmly ahead in first place. They've got open water, and they are flying. Those are some beautiful catches going in there.
And Georgetown has really kicked it up. They've taken their sprint with about 350 to go, and GW seems to be answering. They've both gone up to about a 38, and Georgetown seems to be moving.
Yeah, we've got a real race here. Let's see if GW can get that rate up to match Georgetown. I would say Georgetown is out in front right now, but the question is, can GW in the last 250 meters eat back into that lead? They are both in the red buoys. We have the first 3 crews in the red buoys. Princeton's going to walk away with a victory here, and we will wait to call to see who's in second place. Drexel's approaching the last 250 right now. I would say the Tigers only have about 8 strokes left in the race. They are firmly in first place. Good to see a crowd here also down at Lake Carnegie this early in the morning.
The Tigers are probably 2 or 3 strokes from crossing the line, and then we have Georgetown finishing it out by a couple seats, and it looks like they'll hold that margin for second.
Princeton across the line, and it looks like Georgetown's about to finish. Let's wait for the beep. That's Georgetown in second place, about a length ahead of GW. So that's first place Princeton, second place Georgetown, third place DW, and Drexel is about to cross the line in fourth place. That's a good race from the Drexel Dragons there.
Drexel's really kicked it up in the last 250, and they really kept it clean throughout the race.
And that is Drexel across the line. So the first race of the rowing season is done on Lake Carnegie. We're going to head back to the start to bring you the 2 view races from these crews.